Pretty is coming. Okay. Let us start with the current slide. Can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it full screen?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Now? Can you see the slide?
Yes,
Mhm.
now it is.
I
Yes,
see.
ma'am.
Good. Well, so let us just speak about dealing with patient. And so here you can see several phrases taken from the conversation between the doctor and his patient. And the task is to look through the statements here and the question, what are the doctor and patient talking about?
About diet,
Mhm.
daily routine,
Yes.
And what
body
is
schedule.
Avoiding junk foods
Mhm.
and
Okay.
for
What should
healthy
we
approach
Yoga.
of food and exercises, daily exercise
Mm,
and
Suggest to
meditation.
yoga and exercise.
exactly, you're right. Mhm. So this is also one of the very big problem among patients, just to lose weight, to deal with the diet and this kind of thing. And now we are going to listen to the conversation itself and just decide which statements are true and which statements are false according to their conversation. And I'll start the recording and you'll tell me if you hear or not.
Listening to. It
Yes, ma'am, we
isn't
can
easy.
hear.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Listening to. It isn't easy to lose weight, as there are so many ways to do it that people find it difficult to choose from them. And there are so many temptations as well. Have you tried to diet before?
Yes, but none of them worked.
What did you do?
I've tried various diets like the Atkins diet, and I've bought various commercial diets, but I found I couldn't stick to them.
What do you think the problem is?
I tend to snack a lot during the day with crisps and fizzy drinks and biscuits and sweets. I'm sitting around a lot at work, and I've tried to cut out all these things, but it's impossible.
It's difficult to break habits like this, but there are ways around it. Rather than cutting out everything suddenly, it's perhaps better to do it gradually. You could have diet cola instead of the normal cola, or better still, fresh fruit juice, low-fat crisps, and introduce some fruit. The danger is trying to do everything at one time and then giving up. Then, when you get used to it, you can make more changes.
Maybe I could give it a go.
What about exercise?
Well, I spend most of my day at a desk. When I was younger, I used to swim and I did some yoga, but not anymore.
We've all been a bit more active in the past. Have you thought of taking up swimming again?
Yes, but it's time. After work, I'm too tired to do anything, and it's difficult to cut down eating as it makes me irritable.
Mhm. Is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us just read the statements and say if they are true or false. Arunchalam, will you start with the first one?
Yes, ma'am. The patient has tried to diet before.
Is it true or false?
No, ma'am. It's not true.
So it's
True,
false.
ma'am, it is true.
It is
true,
true.
ma'am.
It's true, yes. She
She
has
died
tried.
but failed.
She has
Okay,
tried
okay.
something, yes, before. Okay, so Madhumita,
Yes, ma'am. The patient has tried to stop eating crisps and other junk foods in the past. Yes, ma'am. She has tried to stop, but she couldn't stop as she is working, and she couldn't control eating those.
exactly, yes, it's true. Well, Divya, number 3, please.
The doctor suggested gradual approach, ma'am.
So,
It is true.
yes. So instead of cutting down everything immediately, so he suggests to just to change something gradually. Priya,
Yes. Diet cola.
yes.
The doctor is sympathetic to the patient's situation. It's true, ma'am.
It's true, of course, yeah. Then Prerna,
The patient is reluctant to try the approach suggested by the doctor. The patient tries to take the advice of the doctor.
so
So
the statement is
not true. False.
false, okay. Nishat,
Yes, ma'am. The doctor suggests taking up yoga and as an exercise. False, ma'am. Ma'am,
what
the
does
doctor suggests taking up a swimming as an exercise to the
exactly?
patient.
Yes, you're right.
False.
Yes, Prakriti, please.
The patient excuse is to do with the injury. Ma'am, true.
Does she speak about any injury?
No, no.
No, what's
No,
her
ma'am.
excuse?
No, ma'am.
Workload
Yes,
or
workload.
not
Yes,
following diet, eating
Workload.
habits.
feeling tired, yes, after work. Yes, so this
Yes.
statement is false. Okay, so okay, can we move? Yes. Questions. How would you describe the doctor's approach? Sensitive or annoying?
Doctor was sensitive.
Sensitive. Yes.
Yes.
Sensitive.
Mhm. And would the doctor's suggestions work in all cases?
No, ma'am. It won't work like swimming or something else. Like if the patient has injury or dealing with some other discomfort or diseases, won't work for some people, or even the diet also won't work for the other category. Like if they are old age or something.
Exactly,
So,
And
yes.
the patient has a
not
lot
just
of work. So
yes,
after the work, she may not able to do the exercises or swimming
exercises.
Mhm, mhm. Exactly.
because
So,
she's tired already.
mhm.
So it
So,
will be not 100% work.
okay, thank you. So if we move further, so here is some more information about the body mass index, BMI. And so there is a chart, BMI chart here on this slide. So if we focus on this chart, we can see that it is just, it has several colors that show the pale, just the light beige shows underweight. Then there is a kind of yellowish, it's normal weight. Then darker color shows overweight, then obese, and morbidly obese. And you can see that the data is given in two ways, in different ways, like if we speak about height, so the height is given here in feet and inches. The inches and feet and inches are shown to the left. And so then it's given in metric system, like height in meters to the right. Similar is the same is with weight. So at the bottom you can see weight in stones, and weight in kilograms is at the top of the chart. And so our case is the following. As a doctor, we should encourage Mr. Font to lose weight through exercise. So he weighs 110 kilograms and is 1 meter 80 centimeters tall, and his waist size is 110 centimeters. And we should explain him using this chart about his problem, just to persuade him start doing some physical exercises. So who can just explain the problem to Mr. Ford? Yes?
Mr. Ford is overweight.
So if you talk to Mr. Ford, what will you say to him?
First of all, we will tell him about his condition.
Okay, what is his condition like?
He's overweight, so he
Because
should follow because of unhealthy diet.
I mean, so according to the chart, so what is
He
his normal weight?
obese, not overweight.
Normal weight should be around 80 to 100 as per the chart.
So
in kg.
around around
75, 75 we can say.
70, around 80, yeah. So,
Yes.
and between 75 and how much?
100.
No, it's overweight. So it's starts his normal weight.
Normal weight is, ma'am, as we know that it is given in light orange. So in this chart we can say that from 75 to 100 it is given normal weight, but
It's not
after
normal.
100 to it's not normal weight.
So
According
75 to 85
according
is
to
normal
that
weight.
chart.
Yes, as I
ma'am,
see
according to that
chart.
height, ma'am, is also according to that height is not normal weight.
It's like here, starting with
his height,
60 kilograms.
According to his height, his weight should be 60 to almost around 85, and he is
Yes.
obese since he has his 110 kgs. So it comes under obese.
Yes,
Yes.
it's obese. Okay, and we should also just say about the consequences of his obesity. What are the consequences?
Like too much weight can like affect psychological issues may also there, and
Also,
also
obese
like other
person,
diseases also like
heart
enhanced
diseases
by
especially.
yes.
Person with obesity can suffer from heart diseases as they might have some high level of cholesterol. So eventually it will lead to heart disease.
Yes, ma'am.
It may, yes, diabetic present.
Sorry?
Also,
It can be the reason.
it can increase that sugar level also due to heavy weight.
Hypertension in obese people.
High blood pressure and like there are
Exactly.
many issues, heart diseases and strokes.
Yes. Well, is only heart affected by
Other organs also affected.
No,
Like
ma'am,
vital
even all
organs
the
are affected.
organs.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Person can have thyroid due to cholesterol, thyroid, and
Yes.
kidneys can be affected due to overweight.
Okay, thank you. And so if we focus on the language that we can use to encourage patients and make suggestions about changing their lifestyle, so we can use some modal verbs. So for tentative suggestions, just preliminary suggestions, you can use the modals like could, can, and might. So these just sound more polite and sympathetic. And so there are examples here. One and the same sentence can be said in different ways, like You could, for example, get off the bus one stop early. You can, for example, get off the bus one stop early, or you might like to try, for example, getting off the bus one stop early. So these are the possible versions. And there are other modal verbs that can be used in this situation. Should, shouldn't, ought, oughtn't to are used for strong suggestions. Generally, these verbs are used in order to give advice, but be careful. These can be annoying rather than encouraging and are probably best avoided. So such phrases as you should give up smoking or you shouldn't eat fatty foods. So it's better to use different modal verbs. Let us look at the example, just the sentences here, and change the sentences to make it more polite. So I think it's not a problem. Let us do it together now. And Samhita, will you read the first sentence, please? Samhita, are you here? Rafe?
Yes, ma'am.
So read it, please.
You should try to take it easy for a couple of days and have a couple of days off.
Yes, if you start with the phrase which is given in brackets, what will the sentence be like?
Yes, ma'am. Have you thought of taking one second, ma'am, let me think.
Of taking it easy, yes?
Yes, ma'am. Have you thought of taking it easy and have a couple of days off?
Trying to take it easy.
And having a couple of days off. Yes. Okay, the next is for Ayman. Ayman?
Yes, ma'am. The next is you should step up the exercise very gradually. It can be, it's better to step up the exercise very gradually.
Yes, sounds more polite. Arun Chalam, please. Number
Spend
3.
more time on a physically demanding form of exercise. You could spend more time on a physically demanding form of exercise.
Okay. Madhumita?
Yes, ma'am. Instead of eating red meat, you can either eat white meat or fish, ma'am.
Good. Well, Divya, number 5. Divya, are you here? No, Divya. Priya?
Yes, ma'am. Try to do something which will get you out and about.
Good. Prerna?
You might have a balance rather than a crash diet.
Yes, balanced rather than a crash diet. Good. Now there is there are some more ideas of how to change the patient's lifestyle. So the question is, what encouragement would you give to a patient who is trying to lose weight? So use the phrases, begin with the phrases which are given here to the right, try to avoid if you can. You could have instead something, and the ideas which are given to the left. So, well, let us listen to Nishat.
Yes, ma'am.
Start,
Like
please.
try to avoid unhealthy foods, and it would be better if you follow proper meal and nutritious food for your diet, and you could have more green leafy vegetable instead of junk foods. And what about trying to do some physical exercises, like and doing like increasing sports activity gradually. And like you might like to try some new methods to adapt to your body. And have you ever thought of like increasing the like amount of exercise gradually as per your like performance of your body? And instead of doing like exercise like too much exercise at the same time, you should do exercise gradually according to your like state of the body
Okay,
and body
so
requirement.
thank you. Your idea about starting doing exercise is clear. Here we have the phrases related to diet, right? So who can develop these ideas? Let us listen to Prakriti.
Ma'am, try to avoid the fatty foods and salt. Okay. If you can.
So, for example, yes, Samhita.
Try to avoid fatty food, salt, sugar, crisp, biscuit, cake, etc. If you can drink 2 to 4 liter fluid daily, that is water, not and not tea or alcohol. You could have five portion, preferably more fruit. What about trying dairy products, skim milk, and semi-skim?
Can I?
Yes, please.
If you can include fibrous food in your diet, and you could have white meat instead of the red meat. It's better to have this skimmed milk rather than semi-skim milk. Uh, what about uh, trying? I don't know about this sentence, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You might like to try fish 2 to 3 times a week. Have you ever thought of including in this sentence we can add fish, ma'am, including fish 2 to 3 times a week? Then instead of alcohol and tea, you can drink water. You can drink 2 to 3 liters of water daily.
Okay. So, I mean, your ideas, what are they?
Yes, ma'am. It can be you can try to avoid fatty foods or
So we
salt,
have
sugar,
already
crisp,
said.
and
What about the other ideas?
last, it can be, have you ever thought of eating white meat instead of red meat? Or it can be also, you might like to try 5 portions and preferably more water and vegetable.
What about ways of cooking?
Instead of grilling, steaming, poaching, you should go with some 5 portion and
it's better to
Not
grill,
frying, ma'am.
steam
it's
and poaching
instead of
than rather
Instead of
than
roasting, we can
baking
use
and
it.
vegetable
Frying.
oil and
and
not
yeah,
No,
frying.
Rather
that's
than
why
frying.
instead of using these kind of cooking, these ways of cooking, they can go with 5 portion and preferably more fruit and vegetables a day.
It's better to
Yes.
grill and steam rather than
Yes,
to fry and
exactly. Yeah.
baking
And
and
avoid
frying.
snacking.
Good. So these are the just the pieces of advice connected with diet. And so let us focus on this information. When we take care of patients, then effective negotiation on the part of a doctor or nurse also requires sympathy and empathy. So sometimes, most of the time, the difference between sympathies and empathy is blurred. Here are some definitions just to differentiate between them. Like sympathy, feeling for the patient from your knowledge of other people's experience, that from logical point of view, like here in the picture. And empathy is feeling that is based on personal experience. So like in the second picture. This is the main difference. And if we look at these examples, so we should understand whether which of these best explains sympathy and which explains just empathy. So the first one, Rafael, read it.
Yes, ma'am.
Read it, please. Mhm.
Understanding the patient's feeling because you have seen other patients in similar situations before. Ma'am, since it is based on personal feeling, personal, ma'am, it's empathy, ma'am.
Mhm.
Personal experience.
Because you have seen other patients in similar situation. Is it about personal experience or
Sympathy, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, sympathy.
sympathy? Yes,
Sympathy.
it's like sympathy. Okay. Well, I mean, the second one,
Yes,
please.
ma'am. A mixture of self-experience and understanding of patient's condition, ma'am. I think it should be empathy because
Yes.
it's sharing the same feeling.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So Arunchalam.
Understanding what the patient is feeling because you have experienced it yourself, it's empathy, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. And Madhumita.
An understanding of what the patient is feeling based on clinical knowledge. It is sympathy, ma'am.
It is sympathy. Yes, this is the balance between logic and some personal feeling. Okay, and so in a similar exercise, there are statements made by a doctor. Decide which are sympathetic and which are empathetic. And are any of them very personal? So, Divya, please.
Yes, ma'am. I know it's not easy to change habits because I have faced the same problems myself. Empathetic, ma'am.
Okay, so Priya.
Giving up smoking isn't easy, but have you thought perhaps of cutting down gradually? Ma'am, it's also empathic, ma'am.
So does the doctor speak about his own experience? So
Should be sympathy.
it's sympathetic,
Oh, no.
yes. Question. Okay. So Prerna, please. Number 3.
When people try to make changes like this, at first it seems difficult, as it is talking about people, so it might be sympathetic.
Sympathetic. Okay. Nishat.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it is difficult, but have you thought of the advantages of giving up? Ma'am, it is sympathy, as like doctor is not talking about himself. So
Yes.
sympathy.
About some logical advantages. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Prakriti. Prakriti, are you here?
Yes,
No?
ma'am.
So please, the last line here, please.
I know what it is like because I have been there myself. Ma'am, it is the empathy.
Okay. So now we understand this. Now let us focus on the text about overweight and obesity. Overweight and obesity pose a major risk to long-term health by increasing the risk of chronic illnesses. In 2005, 7.4 million people aged 18 years old over and over. This is 54% of the adult population were classified as overweight or obese, an increase from 5.4 million adults, which is 45% of the adult population in 1995. This is the information from Australian Social Trends of 2007. And I would like you to have a look at the text and let us read this information and listen to, let us say, Samhita Start, please.
Overweight and obesity have become worldwide concern, reaching epidemic proportions. Obesity is caused by an emergency imbalance where energy intake exceeds energy expanded over time. This imbalance has been linked to lifestyle factors such as increased consumption of food with high level of sugar and saturated fats, as well as reduction in physical activity.
These are the causes of obesity, yes? Okay, and if we move to the next slide, let's listen to Rafael.
Overweight and obesity pose a major risk to long-term health by increasing the risk of chronic illnesses such as diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and some cancers. It has been estimated that obesity and its associated illness cost Australian society and government a total of 21 billion in 2005. In July 2006, the Australian government implemented a 5-year, 500 million program, the Australian Better Health Initiative, aimed at reducing the impacts of chronic diseases, which includes a focus on promoting healthy weight.
So even the government just think about this and introduces some programs. Okay, so this article discusses adults who were classified as overweight or obese according to the body mass index based on self-reported height and weight. So let us listen to Ayman.
Yes, ma'am. Overweight and obesity trends in 2004 and 5, more than half, that is 54% of all adults or 7.4 million people aged 18 years and over were either overweight or obese, in an increase from 45%, that was 5.4 million adults in 1995. Using age standardized data, the rate of overweight adults has increased from 33% in 1995 to 36% in 2004 and 5. While the rate of obesity in adults has increased from 13% to 18% over the same period, each of the National Health Survey conducted since 1995 has reported a higher rate of overweight and obesity for males than for females.
So it's interesting. So higher rate for males than for females. Okay, Arun Chalam, please, the next piece of the text.
Yes, ma'am. Perceptions of own weight. For many people, particularly men and older women, self-perception of acceptable weight differs from the standard BMI definitions. This may have implications for the management of healthy body weight in adults. In 2004 and 5, more than half of the adults, that is 63% of males and 59% of females, consider themselves to be of acceptable weight. The proportion of males and females 32 to 38% who consider themselves to be overweight was considerably lower than those who are classified as overweight, obese according to the BMI, 62% and 45% respectively.
So self-perception is sometimes wrong, as you see. Well, the next piece of information is for Matkumita.
Yes, ma'am. Between 1995 and 2004 to 5, after adjusting for differences in the age structure of population, the proportion of people in the overweight and obese BMI categories who considered themselves to be of acceptable weight increased. In 2004 to 5, almost half, that is 47% of males and around 1/5, 21% of females who were overweight or obese considered themselves to be of acceptable weight. This compares with age standardized rates of around 1/3, 35% of males and 12% of females in 1995.
Okay, so this is the main information, and so I would like, yes, we have some time to speak about the home assignment. So you remember that we started working with the netlanguages.com course, English for Medical Professionals. You follow the link and you also choose advanced level here and medical English for health professionals and this course. And So you also choose taking a medical history number 2 unit module 2, which is accessible, and this time you should complete units 4 and 5. So we have done the first 1, 2, 3 units, and you should complete units 4 and 5. You should take the screenshot or just the photo of the last page, and you should upload the screenshots or photos to a Moodle site in the form of the PDF file. So this is the task for the next class. So is the task clear?